that classic old car. You ruined it. Dang young kids. Don't make me square up with an old man who wants some. Welcome back, guys, to the puddins.fab.shop. And as you can see, this week we are back on our 1961 Chevrolet Wagon. This thing's kind of like Theo's tail. It's a wagon. Right. And as you guys just seen, this thing is amazing. I love it. As far as the patina build goes, this wagon is as cool as can be. We had found this thing sitting out. It'd been parked since 1969 with the throne rod out the block of the original 283. And I originally planned on putting it on airbags, but then when I washed the thing up, I found that old hand-painted Mr. Horsepower on the fender, and we knew this thing had to have a hot rod influence. So we pulled the body off the chassis, fully redid everything underneath it. As you see, it's got a fresh drivetrain in it, just a small block 350 with a 700 R4. My buddy Top Stitch Taylor tuned up the interior with a heavy factory influence on it. And guys, this thing has been nothing short of amazing to enjoy and drive. Well, until recently. Let me explain. It's not much to explain. It's that when the front of your wagon sits as low as this one does, well, it has become exceptionally hard to drive, especially if more than one person's in it. Now, with this thing having a nice interior and cold air conditioning and being absolutely drivable, keep eating that wasp, you're gonna have a swollen tongue. This thing is perfect for hauling my family around. The problem is the front has settled so much that the cross member's just barely off the ground. As you can see from that cross member right there, that continues to collect rocks and dirt. And that's with no weight in the vehicle. You start adding people and that thing just continues to squat and squat. I mean, we're tucking a good amount of wheel already. It's sitting so stinking low. And that looks amazing. However, it's not great for hauling more than just me. So, with that being said, guys, I've been wanting to get on this thing. We're gonna tune in some new springs to the front. The carburetor had been wanting to flood on me one of the last times I was driving it a lot. Kept giving me fits. We may tear into the carburetor. When I had this thing down in Austin, Texas, and I had tools loaded in the back, I couldn't fit 3 grown men in here because it was sitting so low. Our drive shaft was rubbing. So we may look at adding a little notch in the floor for the drive shaft wherever it happens to be rubbing. And for the rear, I think we're gonna add some helper bags like what I put on the Travelall. These things work awesome. I mean, hell, let's say we need to tow a trailer. Let's say I wanna get buck wild and hook this trailer up. I'm gonna need to be able to put air in those bags or that thing's gonna squat us at least 4 inches. Let's start this go around by tearing in the front, guys. But Puddin', you won't have all them problems if you quit slamming everything. If this wagon was raised to factory ride height, in my crazy head, it looks just like this. Now, just hear me out. Just playing, guys. Let's get to the real reason we're here. I didn't get that extra blazer frame for nothing. Get this out here. You see who your real friends are. I sent a picture of this to Slick and Mortsky in our little girly group chat. Slick said, nah, man, don't do it. That car's perfection. Mortsky said, do it. That's weird. Old negative Nancy Mortsky was the encouraging one. Woo, slotted and drilled. She's the fancy ones, guys. Oh, spider! Ka-chow! Oh, he's repelling! Oh, man, he died mid-repel. No, he is a faker! Thought that was a spider. Damn possum spider. She was faking. All right, I chose to do this side first because what I can remember putting this together, this ball joint was being a little bit of a pain. So I'm expecting a little bit of a issue out of it. But as y'all can see, we're probably just going to pull our shock, that old U-Haul edition shock, sway bar end links. We'll pull our caliper setup off and just hang it over at the side. And then it should be just popping our top ball joint where we can get that spring out of there. Woo! She's hot. Getting hot, hot, hot. I need them fingerprints anyways. We might need to rob a bank. I mean, that cut's about healed up. We might as well try to cut our hand somewhere else. No need in disconnecting these, so have you a piece of tie wire, or I'm gonna use a zip tie because it was handy. And we're just gonna hang it up over here. A piece of tie wire would have been smarter, a little more efficient for me. Yeah, that's power steering, baby. There's the dreaded nut of doom. For cotter pins, I like a pair of side cutters. You'll see that, you barely just bite it, and then you can use leverage and it'll pull it out. Now, we don't want this to fight us no more than it has to, so see a lot of dirt and debris on these threads. I'm gonna try to clean her up. Try to prevent cross threading, crap like that. We'll see if about 100 PSI concentrated here won't help it. Get her about 100 PSI, get your booty off there, and then lubricate it. I need a little lubrication in this situation. By a little, I need more than that. Come on, come on. Oh yeah, this thing's just getting wild. Damn, PB blast cans have gone downhill, guys. For the last years, they just keep getting worse and worse. Huh, 3/4 inch, too big. 11/16 is trying. I guess it's just rounded on some. Can't remember why I knew this one would be a problem, but there's something about it. Jeez. That might have been overkill, because that sucker sure is separating easy. See, I think when I was trying to tighten this up last time, it was like the taper wasn't wanting to bite. So I was having a hard time getting this actually tightened up, now that I think about it, because the ball joint wasn't seating good into the spindle as far as grabbing a bite, so I couldn't really get massive torque on it. Maybe that's what it was. Because I just beat that devil on there for no real reason. So let's leave that on for safety. Get a stand underneath there to take some load. We'll pull this just to get our nut back out of there. Thread nut back on. Then I'll straighten us out here where we can beat on the spindle on this side and that side to pop that. Ah, there she went. See how that spindle fell down on top of our castle nut? Now we're safe to slowly take that off there. Because these are a cut shorter spring. See how they ain't really got tension on them? I can already wiggle them. So we ain't really got to worry about these shooting out like you would a normal spring. If you had something with tension on it, you may want to chain your spring just for safety. For us, I'm just going to unthread our nut here. Picked up on that lower just a hair with that. And then we should be able to ease that down. That fell, still scared me. And our boot fell off. Grease still looks good. Ball joint's still nice and tight. We didn't expect it to be worn out. She probably has, I don't know, 5,000 miles on her since we've put her on the road. Maybe a little less. Now I'm gonna cheat and just pick up on the left. And there we go. We have our spring out. Now, originally these were supposed to be lowering springs, but when I put them in the front of that car, this thing sat like it was a gasser. I mean, with what's supposed to be a lowering spring and lowering spindle, this thing was sitting higher than stock. I never knew why. checked to make sure it's indexed correctly 1,000 times. I finally had enough and cut 2 coils off of this. So when it came time to get new springs for the front, I did what any logical person would do, and I hopped right back on eBay and bought the same set of $89 springs we used the first time. These should be about 2 coils longer than that one. They sure look the same, don't they? And sure enough, I consider that 1 coil, even though that flattens out. Did we only cut 1 off? What's going on here? No, that's about 2. So let me do a little eyeballing and figure out where I think we need to cut. The problem is these springs obviously settled a lot and have continued to settle because after I cut them, everything sat great. After we've been driving it 1.5 years, it just continually comes down. I almost wonder if we shouldn't just get one of them like thick rubber pads and put underneath this sucker, and if that would raise it up just enough to get it where we want. And then these springs are kind of broke in. It rides great, guys. Smooth as can be. No complaints other than, like I said, when we get it weighted down, that cross member gets so stinking low, I just can't drive it anywhere. It's got to be a perfect road. GH9226. GH9226. All right, I did get the exact ones. Now, some folks are scared to cut coils, but guys, I'm not a fan of heating coils, but cutting coils, people are like, oh, it changes this or that. It really don't. If you're doing some high-end build and you want to be respected, I don't recommend you start cutting coils. But if you're perfectly content with $89 eBay springs slamming the front of your X-frame car or whatever car you have, and it's still riding good, there's nothing wrong with it. I lined us up with a straight edge here, making sure to get the pigtail pretty well centered up. And then if we do look at that and see how I cut that one back down there, that would be 1 coil, 2 coil. So I'm gonna say we go 1.5 coils, which should be good for right at probably 3/4 to 1 inch of lift. But at first it's gonna translate as more until these springs break in and settle like these ones did. But in the end result, it should end up just a little better. Plus you gotta factor leverage of the A-arm and blah, blah, blah. It's gonna pick it up probably right where it needs to be. And if it don't, we would have always wished it would have. So the way I like to do this is right here on top, basically in line with our pigtail down there. I'm gonna draw us a straight line because that needs to be our center point. And then you can see here, I like to cut it flat. You don't just cut it straight off. And then when you put that pigtail in there where it's supposed to go, where that little pocket is, you've got about 1.5 inches or so sitting flat right there, and it keeps it in the pocket really nice. Kind of like my roundhouse bib overalls here, just got nice pockets. So I put our one line straight. Now I'm gonna go about 3/4 inch to that side and start our straight line this other way. And then I come past it about 3/4 inch and I'll put another line, and that lets us know where to cut. Damn professional guide to cutting coils, baby. Our original straight line, we're gonna go 3/4 inch this way to taper out here. Then we'll go 3/4 inch this way, or we'll end up cutting it off there. So for now, we can cut it full off right here, and then we'll put our taper on it. Damn genius, I tell ya. Yeah. You may notice, here's your pro tip. Before I actually start cutting that off, I use the grinder to kind of follow my line there just where I could see it, because using a white or silver marker would be way too complicated. Now we just follow that and taper. There you go, guys. Not much more work and guaranteed to work better than if you were just to cut it straight like that right there and then throw it in there. We make it through a few more sets of springs, and by that time we could have afforded coilovers, but let's not talk about that. With them kind of indexed the same now, you can see there's our additional 1/2 coil. The old PSI, she'll clean up a lot. Now, as far as going back together, we pretty well have the reverse process of what we just did, except in theory, She could be a little harder because our spring's a little longer. And not in theory, it is. So we're gonna be fighting more of the tension. So we'll get her popped into place. I'm gonna make sure it's indexing to that pigtail holder as I explained. And I'm gonna lower the lift down to get it more to a workable height and help pick that up. She needs to rotate just a hair. This is important, guys, especially when you're modifying the springs or just using aftermarket ones or factory ones. It don't matter. Making sure that pigtail is actually sitting down in there on both sides is gonna help it to sit this correct amount left to right. You'll see some people do lowering springs, then they're driving around and one side's lower than the other. That's probably because they have those springs in their index correctly. Or maybe the guy driving weighs 450 pounds. I'm not being mean, there's truth to that. Your weight can affect how you have to tune in your suspension sometimes. That looks better. See, just that time as that dropped, I literally seen it pop down in there. And now that baby's sitting exactly where I want it. And that's about perfect height to get our ball joint started. Nailed it. Get our boot back on. And then boom, baby. All right, there's good. You want to get that grease on your thumb and then smear it on them rotors. That helps to keep your brakes from dragging. Let's go for a professional tune-up on this nut. Golly. If it's my socket. I don't think so. No, it's the nut. She don't fit that one neither. She appears to fit 18 millimeter perfect. So I think we've got a case of good overseas manufacturing going on here. Yes. All right. I was afraid it wasn't gonna bite like last time, but she took. Just got her tightened up. Pop our zip tie, our cotter pin back in. Like I said, now we're just zooming back together. I'm so fast, I'm zooming. I'm zooming super fast. I'm so good at this. You've never seen anyone get a caliper on faster. Yep, I like to check torque by hand. Use my old calibrated elbow. Pull our stand out where our shock can go up in. Kind of having a hard time hitting the hole there. That'll happen. Finish snugging on our top mount. And that's it, guys. I'm not going to do the sway bar end length until we get the other side, because it's one of those things that's easier to do both of them at the same time instead of one at a time. Nice. And that's it, guys. Right there, we've successfully installed our new lift kit. Of course, over here, we just got to do the exact same thing. Golly, I'm glad Theo wasn't there. Aha! It was this side. I don't think it was this side, because I remember the wagon was backed in and I was on the other side of the shop. So this one's just decided to mess up as well. Or my memory's garbage, one of the two. This probably won't help much, but I am going to put some pressure on this, hoping to push up on that. And then I'm going to hammer on the top of the ball joint, trying to shove that down. The ideal being to help that seat, because obviously the weight of the vehicle and driving ain't gonna do it. So just a couple hammer taps will. Then, if that don't work, we're gonna try taking a ratchet strap and squeezing this together, because I'm trying to pull that upper arm and ball joint down into the spindle. I think I see a little bit of gap, so she spun a hair. Give her a few hammers with the tension. And I don't want to get heat involved, but I will. Let's kind of heat her nut up there a little bit. Be good to me. All right, she listened, guys. Having that tension on there and hammering down may have helped. And then just that little bit of heat. I didn't even really get that thing that hot. So if she wants to be ornery, we can be ornery too. Hell, I've been ornery my whole life. They am identical twins. Perfect. Ratchet strap trick worked again. Just had to get a better one. There she is, guys. We've got this side caught up. Just need to get our sway bar end links on now. They're a lot easier to do, like I said, when this whole thing will kind of flop and work with you. A lot easier to get these two with weight on the vehicle. Got that side started. Looks like we'll have just a thread to start here. Oh yeah, got a couple. D-U-N, that front end is done. Ka-chow. Now, before we set her down to check out her new ride height, see how much damage we did or didn't do, I'd mentioned something about some drive shaft ribbon. And it's been a while, so by now it should be nice and rusted over where we can detect where it was. And since we got her on the lift, probably not a bad time for just a quick once over, because I ain't gave her one in a long time. I thought that looked loose. She ain't. And don't forget, this thing has a two-piece drive shaft, so right there, that's our carrier bearing. Then we come out back this way, and we should be able to see. You see right there? And see right here? That's where she's rubbing at. Oh, and it looks like our front seal's leaking. That's good. I actually don't mind that, as long as there's still plenty in there. It looks like that drain could be leaking too. That's just a little rust prevention on there, guys. That'll splatter everywhere, keep everything nice and lubed up. And check stuff like chafing lines, make sure nothing's going on there. Guys, everything's looking pretty dang good on this sucker. Not that we expected problems, you just never know. So right there's the back seat, and then it humps up, and no, it humps up right there. So that's underneath the back seat, perhaps. We're gonna have to do a little investigating on the inside. The thing is, I don't think it's gonna need a lot, but man, if we could just hump that up 1 extra inch, it would help. Obviously, helper bags are gonna help, but I would like this thing to be able to stay low, get the right PSI, have a little clearance, and be able to drive around slammed with people in there. Now, we'll kind of know where this is at in there, guys. But I'm hoping if I indent that, we'll be able to see it from the inside. But we're actually not going to mess with this quite yet. I'm just marking it because me and Crazy Billy are about to install some airbags. He's like, I didn't come over here to work. Well, I can't get that one because of the drive shaft. We'll worry about that when it's drive shaft time. How's that? Looking at our airbags, these are some tall, narrow little boogers. And I might have to reposition on the lift because right now I got the lift underneath our arms. We're gonna need to pull our shocks, which we should probably do before we reposition. And then we're gonna have to get those out and figure out how to get those in. Not just these. These go inside the coil springs. Fun stuff. What do we call that, Bill? That's the luber doober.
Is that your luber doober stuff?
No, that's the I work when I want to PB blast. We should just be able to pull these lowers and then just kind of let them do the hang dangle, guys. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. I went and had a little more umph on her, a little more pepper. Slapped our front tires on. Let's go for a reposition. These X-frame cars have really solid rockers, guys, the way this was built. So we're actually gonna pick up off this lip, and I know some of y'all's gonna say not to, but it's gonna be just fine. Them are old thick mamas. Bill, the next scene that shows me picking it up and the whole bottom of the car rips out. But they're dropped down. Good news is, it looks like we did a pretty good job. She's still tucking quite a bit of tire. She just ain't tucking hubcap anymore, as Wild Bill just said. But this, guys, is probably going to drop a good inch once we get her cycling too, which should put her just about perfect. And I don't know if y'all can see, but we've got way more room between there now. Even if we come down that additional inch, she's going to be nice and drivable. So we pick up on that sucker, the axle will swing forward, and this time it's made it to the point tires hitting the exhaust. That's because we ain't got our shocks to limit us anymore. But what matters here is that going to allow it to drop enough to get our spring out? And yes, it is. If we couldn't get our spring out, then we'd need to set that back down, take our tires off where it could swing forward even more. I think we'll have her whooped here. All right, there we go. Here she comes. Now all we gotta do is figure out how to put an airbag in that and get her back up into place, Bill. So I was looking through the instructions and it actually says, let's see, installing air spring top and bottom, thinner at the top, thicker at the bottom, but somewhere it said place with the air stem facing down. So it says this needs to be facing down, and I guess like that there. And this is supposed to go up there, but you'd think they'd put a little hole in that since there's a nipple there. Wanting the humdinger?
I guess they want you to put the hole in it.
I ain't seen me use that drill, have they? Should have picked someone more qualified. So our rear springs I'd cut as well, guys, back in the day. But if we set that there and then take that up there, that's about the perfect length. So we're gonna drill a hole in that sucker where that sits down a little more flush. Well, it does push in, but dang, getting all that lined up would be a pain in the butt. Let's drill a hole.
Yeah, drill a hole in it.
We like to re-engineer stuff anyhow.
Hell yeah.
For a good accurate hole, you want it in your vise where it gets oblonged. That thing's no match for a Harbor Freight tornado. Look at the hole. Hold it that away, maybe. Perfect. Kinda. Pot County perfect anyhow. Bill's flexing on y'all. He got that OG shirt on back there.
Oh, yeah.
He broke out the collectibles. This little valve stem has this piece that just threads on there, has an O-ring in there, pushes in that Schrader valve, and then has a barb fitting that, boop, that'll just hold on. That's why we need this to protect that. This is gonna have to be ran through our trailing arm since it's gonna be facing down. So we need to kind of assemble all that as we go. I think we're gonna take our air line and I'm gonna fish it up through the back of the control arm, then up through there. Oh, there ain't a hole in there, dummy.
Yeah, there's no hole up there.
Bill just said that. I should have known that. We could put a hole real quick. Or we can just, boop, pop out right there. Ain't gonna hurt nothing as long as it don't bind. Ooh, that fits nice. Like a perfect fit. And we gotta get that on there. But we also gotta get our hose on and our clamp on. Let's drive this sucker over. Bite his ankle, Theo. Just set our spacer up there. Then get our little clamp. I've put similar, or I have these kind of similar helper bags pretty much on the Travel, and I've had real good luck with them, guys. I like them. Just shove that on our little barb fitting, and they give you these little clamps. Boop! That's ready. Except I want this pigtail facing down. So we flip that, and then it'll go in about like so. Shoo! That's a nice fit. Oh, hold on. I might have to, let me fish her in up here. Bill always randomly shows up on the best days. Always when I need an extra hand.
It's almost like I hear you call.
I guess so.
I just come from the pizza place and I was heading home.
There we go. There. Now we're getting somewhere. Index this right there. And for now, we're happy with that. That gets her sitting into place. Got our pigtail right there where I want it. We'll get this side caught up and then we can use our stands and kind of pick up on that until we get the shocks where they can pop on. Now we know what we're doing. Pert near anyhow. That one goes in a lot quicker than the other one did. I need to get an old camper and a hitch where we can go camping. As Bill goes up there, we'll make sure we're staying in line. Uh-oh, that's what I was worried about. All right, guys, we are gonna have to drill some holes in the control arms because nothing can be easy. Yeah. I wasn't sure how much weight was gonna push down on that, but it's enough that it's gonna kink that line. So we are gonna have to drill a hole in the top of this, and then we'll have to run the line down and through the control arm. I'm Willie Redo. What's your name? Backwards Billy.
Backwards Billy.
The good thing is we know exactly what we're doing now. Drop her down and knock her out. I like how Bill looked at me like, are you sure we know what we're doing? Someone needs to tighten that up, don't they, Bill? Yeah. DeWalt, known for their good quality chucks.
Better than Walmart.
Man, that's a good size hole. We're just running 1/4 inch line through it. We should be to about a 5/8 or so. Wonder if I got a grommet that'll
go in there.
All or nothing. All right, with our hole drilled, we're going back together. As you can see, we're gonna run that out the back of the trailing arm. I think that's gonna allow us to route it with minimal wear on it. Speaking of minimal wear, put your grommet in your hole to protect your hose. Get this side ran through too. Going back together. Hopefully this time for the last time. If not, we'll do her again. We are redo experts. All right, guys, pick up on her so you can get your shocks back on. Dinner's ready for round 3. Now, when I seen how those had to go in, the ones on Travelall, had to fold them up like a taco and sneak them into the coil. It's a much bigger coil. I thought these were gonna be a pain, but they're actually pretty easy once you figure out your process. Now we just gotta skedaddle the lines through there, tee it somewhere, and put her on a Schrader valve somewhere here at the back. I think there's a bird who wants a whipping. So I want to run those out the back because I think we can probably just run it kind of like that, go along our brake line. I just need to pick where we're going to hop over to this side to our frame and then run it towards the back. If you run your air line with your brake line, does that mean you have air brakes, Bill?
Air brakes.
Whoo!
Either or.
I'm able to just follow that sucker right across there, guys. That works really good. We're going to cut our T in right here.
Sometime.
Woo, that's right, baby. A little celebratory dance. I'm celebrating the fact that I did not cut this for the T yet. And that line I showed y'all, well, I undid it and I ran it up this way, and it was literally the perfect length to put that right there. We are redoing it because I did not realize that it came with 2 separate Schrader valves, which is nice instead of T-ing it, and here's why. Does the back of our wagon have a sway bar? No. Does it need one? Yes. Are we installing one? No. Is this gonna kind of act as one? Yes. And here's how, guys. When you have 2 airbags and they're teed together and you go like on an on-ramp or off-ramp and the body roll starts to happen, you will shove air from one bag into the other. Now, with airbags only, that's a problem because if you don't, especially if you don't have a sway bar, you don't have nothing to try to equal that out. Now, we still have springs, and that would equal it back out. So we could probably get away with it. However, when we put air in each airbag, it can't transfer to each other. So when you can separate those, it acts like a sway bar because it prevents the transfer and all that. So like on a vehicle, if you run airbags on the front, you either have to run a sway bar and or you have to run them on their own sets of valves where they can't share air. Now ours may not be that serious, but it will help with cornering, and that's good because our fatty McFat-Fats need all the help they can get to not rub. I mean, those are a tight fit in there. This will help with that. I didn't even think about fixing this problem, so now we're fixing like 12 birds, 4 stones or something. The only downside to it is it's a little more annoying to add air and let air out because you're doing it twice instead of once. But that is a small price that we are more than willing to pay for the big advantage. Little eagle eye here. And that's pretty close to the other side. Not a paid endorsement, guys, but I sure love these little setups. Second ones I've ever put on, and just a fan. Yeah. And I promise I'm not being mean, guys, but earlier when I said sometimes if you're a bigger person, this right here, you could literally shoot a little more air in the driver's side now and help to stiffen this up, and being able to add a little there and not the same amount here would literally help you balance that out. Someone could figure out how to tune it out to them. Now she might have 2 nipples hanging off her hind end, but when this baby sat down low, I don't even think anyone's gonna notice that. Now before we set this down, I did put a mark there. We see an indentation here, so we know to look for that. And then there should be some spot welds up in there because there's a cross member. So we also know we can look for that to help us find it. Set her back down, give her the badoing-a-doing and something to the badung-a-dung. And then the front drop down right where I want it. Now it's going to continue to set a little bit, but I'm happy with the stance right now. She still has a little room to settle. Guys, I told you we're going to maybe cut the floor for a drive shaft. The thing is, even when like me and Slick's in there, the drive shaft has never rubbed. The only time it's ever done that was that time in Austin with all the stuff in the back and 3 men in there. It got where it was wanting to rub. Here's the deal. I think we just fixed that with our helper bags, because if it starts to rub, you increase the pressure of your helper bags until it don't rub. And no, that's not gonna make it just sit crazy, but we could put a bunch of weight in here with like 30 PSI and it should sit the exact same. And then it's even gonna probably compress less because that airbag's gonna be doing its job. I don't wanna cut this floor unless we absolutely have to. And I'm not convinced right now that we have to. What do you think? You wanna leave it? You heard the man. Let me show y'all the most passed around tool I have. I take this thing with me on any trip I go on, especially if there's distance, so not like to run around town, but if I'm leaving out of Pot County area, this thing's with me. So if we're gonna go on a trip where she's loaded down more than usual, we'll just make sure to have this thing with us. This thing's gonna be perfect for airing this up because you can set your pressure amount and then it shuts off at that amount, which will help us tune out the sides to match really well. Well, I got the 15 PSI quick. Let's just take her up to 30 and see what that feels like. It just started to pick the wagon up. And yes, I can definitely feel a difference. This don't feel bad, it's just a little stiffer. This thing's still gonna ride amazing, guaranteed. She probably picked up 1/4 inch. Yep, it stiffens it up. So a 1/4 inch lift gets us a sway bar, basically. We'll probably never be able to compress enough to make our drive shaft hit. Now I planned on doing some fabrication today, so dang it, we're gonna do some fabrication. Now we may not need a drive shaft tunnel, but that don't mean we don't need a damn Baja skid plate for our oil pans and whatever, apparently. Around 8 inches, around 12 inches, around 3 foot, and 20 inches. Old Baja skid plate go with our big old shit diggers here. There's all of our measurements I just done. And I reckon a good skid plate's gotta be at least 1/4 inch thick. It's good, that looks real light. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Whoa! Don't let that get a toe. So I like to keep this area nice and clear where I can get in and out of here as efficiently as possible. I'm gonna get my boy Big Blue and we'll be ready to lay this out. We're gonna go 36 inches length, and then at our widest point we're gonna be 12 inches. So we'll mark center, go another 6 inches. 12 inches, looking nice and good. Right here we got 12 by 36. We're gonna say this is the front for oil pan. I originally said we were gonna go 8 inches. I'm gonna go 9. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4.5 off our center mark, and then over here 4.5 off our center mark, which is 1.5 from the edge. 1.5, I repeat. Then I said 20 inches. Mark that. Damn noisy helicopter, get out of here. Now right here, we don't want to block that off, so from there I'm gonna go back 2.5, and then we'll do a little connected dot right there, and that'll make for a nicer looking transition. Let's bring the heat.
Bless my time.
Skid plate. We're gonna put a little bend in this, and I measured over there, and I come up with 6 inches. Maybe we'll go 6 1/4, give just the extra. Square that to the table. Lock it in, and we'll go figure out the angle we're after. I think that right there is pretty close. You know what? We could take that back and weld some tabs off there for a mount to that. Yeah, let's change her up a bit. This is still a good angle. Yeah, actually just plain on that too. We're gonna take her about like so. So we just need probably, all right, I've got it. We'll heat her up right at this edge, and we got the old big speed wrench here to help bend her. Gotta have a little patience. I'm about out of patience, guys. This sucker's just too long. If I get one side heated up good, I just can't keep it all warm enough to get the other side there as well. But right now, the center to there, we could probably bend, but I just can't maintain enough heat in that and get this half as well. It's all right, we're not giving up. Bending that or having an angled piece wasn't even part of my original plan. I just had it up there, and it's so much going on with it being flat, I don't like it. So we are gonna have to do something. Put us a little relief cut in there where we only got to do about 1 inch on each end. We'll get her. Don't want to set that on there too hard because this is plastic and that's super hot. But we're pretty stinking close right there. Now we're gonna have to jog down a little further because the transmission pan hangs down further. So my best guess is 15 inches. Same thing, we're just bending the opposite way now. And we're bending a very small amount. I think somewhere in there probably. And I think we'll be able to tuck that up pretty close to our oil pan. And then this next bend is gonna be pretty important to hug it real close to the transmission pan. Oh yeah, we're doing real good. In fact, that line I drew across there is exactly where we need to bend that at. We should just have to match that same angle and it'll be about perfect. It's looking about right. Not too shabby, guys. Piece of 3/8 plate in there for a gap, and then use these to put a little pressure to hold it up. And we could take a little out of that bend right there, kind of flatten that back out. That'd close the gap up here a little more. It's only gonna hang about 5/8 of an inch more than this cross member does down. But we'd certainly rather smack it than smack our oil pan, right? Right. I bent that around a couple times till I got her fitting nice and tight. She centered up side to side. Now we need to look at mounting it. I get a snow cone to get my brain juices flowing. Waller for a dollar, make you holler. I've got these little bushing kits that I've had, and I think we're going to use these to make our mounts. So I whipped this up 2 tabs. This will provide a nice little rubber insulation in there. And I think we can weld that there, and then from the bushing over to the skid plate. With her tacked in, a piece of that 1.5 inch strap will be perfect across here as well. Let's go 1 3/4 inches. When we get this pulled down, we can brace that up. Over here, we're going to use a couple more of these, just in a different way. Just kind of guess on where to drill that. Dang it, went too far over, of course. I need to slide it back this way. Get that baby touching and we're going to weld it. We'll probably want to weld those and then cut the heads off and make them flush where that can't catch on something, because that's our lowest point now. This may be the most ridiculous thing I've ever built. Looks like it hangs down less than 1/2 inch of the frame. I'd say that's well worth it. Good morning, party people. Stitches are out. We're ready to keep rocking and rolling. Yeah! Got a little piece to go right there. That's gonna strengthen that up a lot. And then we gotta make this a little prettier, guys. We want it looking G-U-D, looking good, so when we smoke a possum with it as they roll under, they're like, damn, that looks good. Gonna clean up our edges. We'll smooth them out a little more. The head of those bolts, we'll cut them off. I can see the shape of the bolts, so now I'm gonna grind down some where we can fill that up with weld, where it's not just the weld on the other side. Dig down a good 1/8 inch and we'll just plug that full of weld. Go! Golly, I'm gonna scratch her all up. God dang rookie. Mark out a little cutout for our drain plug. With her slicked up, she's ready for some wax and grease remover. Only the finest. Get a little primer on her. You don't like to shake things up a bit? Follow up with a light coat of our semi-gloss black Duplicolor engine enamel. And I'm a big fan of this stuff. Spray pattern is super important, so you want to make sure to use a consistent one. Out of here, baby. Just had to get a little warmed up. Over here, I'm open. Oh, from downtown. P-Time's open for the game-winning shot. I'm open. Oh, Puddin makes this shot. He'll cure world hunger. Woo! I've never missed under pressure. Whew, that's a lot of pressure. All right, I've had our powder coat out here in the oven setting up. Put a little on that after we welded it, and as that's been setting up, I actually had time to get our shop clean again, which is good because she was dirty. I think we're ready to finagle this into place. So I'm hoping we can just get our front bolt started here and then slide this up into place. It's perfect, guys. Oh, except I forgot to weld those out and put paint on them. Dang it. Ah. Don't worry, this paint will dry fast. It'll boil on. That's good for it, guys. It boils up like that. Basically makes it like a bed liner. Let's go. Golly. That's why I get hurt all the time. I'm worried about making y'all videos. This was not on my plan to build, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. One ratchet and wrench, take your two nuts off. This whole thing swings down out of your way. And then if you really need it out of the way, obviously you can pull that front bolt. But that right there, man, it hugs good. Left that corner nice and open where we can blast it off with a big old piece of rock or something. But check that out. Man, it's all, I mean, it looks pretty good, guys. And that right there will give us a lot of protection. This baby's officially slick proof. Old slick was hard on this sucker. Here, let me show you. Imagine this is a wagon. Imagine this is the very great streets in Austin, Texas. Hey, here comes Slick in the wagon. I feel like that was pretty accurate. Love you, Slick. Give myself a little shop shower here. Luckily, I didn't get too filthy this morning because we're gonna now move to the inside of our wagon. Right here, I think we have seat belts. And I have to do a little digging around, but I believe we've got a couple options for steering wheels too. Just hoping I got the right color. Ooh, electric blue, huh? I'd say that matches that close enough. I mean, we're already like 47 shades of blue in here. That don't look bad. Could look better. But it's what we got. We're gonna run them. So as far as steering wheels goes, I had a couple people, or one person send out this stuff that I believe would work with my factory one. Someone sent out just a center, and then a guy local, I appreciate it, gave this to Wild Bill for me, which was the whole setup, I think. I think we've got enough to put one together. The one in there is just plain like this right now, but a lot of the paint's missing off of it. I think this blue is also a little different than ours, but overall it's a much better shaped steering wheel. As long as we can get this pesky old masking tape off here. And this is going to take a good minute, but our wax and grease remover does seem to help. Little carb cleaner, razor blade, about 15-20 minutes is all you need. You'll have her scrubbed up in a jiffy. That gets our tape off of it, but let's clean up the rest. For that, my friends, I'm going to spray her down with some So Fresh and Clean from the Sweet Patina. Sweet Patina's little cleaner here. We give her a nice little spritzing. You can see that dirt and grime melting away already. And that ain't even the aggressive stuff. And I'm gonna use some steel wool and give this sucker a good scrubbing. You can get you some of this good cleaning product or their hand cleaning wipes y'all know I love so much, or any other stuff they happen to sell. You can get it at thesweetpatina.com. Just use that old promo code on the screen. Woo! That's getting her shined up, baby. All right, old girl. I see you backed up. Raised it. Yeah, She's still looking good. All right, now inside, this don't look fun. That nut's probably stuck and rusted on there. I've been spraying this with a little Coil a couple times last week and then this week as well. Hoping it soaks down in there and just comes right off. We're gonna start by chasing our threads. Oh, well that's great considering there's already a broken bolt in there. So that stuff missing, maybe back in the day someone was trying to pull this already. With any luck, we'll just break a tap off in this other one. That should get us a comfortable amount of threads on that one. This little 2-amp battery came in really handy here because that would not clear with the big one. Yeah, getting out the name brand ones for this. That's so weird. That bolt that's been broken off in there since the who knows when, probably 70s. Ain't spinning right out. Can't believe it. The curved ball I wasn't expecting. What if, I'll see that hole and that hole. What if we can drill those out and tap them? What if a frog had wings? Then he wouldn't have to bounce his booty everywhere he goes. Trying to keep her calm so we don't fling shavings in our carpet and on her seat and everything. We're through. All right. All right, guys. I think we got them both tapped. Woo-hoo-hoo! We did it. We did it. We did it. Oh, yeah. I think our Coil definitely helped us, guys. Up next, we'll pop on the new one. I cleaned our threads on our nut. You know, good clean nut so you don't booger it up. I don't see why it needs to be any tighter than that. And now we've got to figure out how to connect all that crap in there, which I'm usually terrible at jobs like this, so I'm the right guy. Now, if I was a betting man, I'd bet I'm doing this incorrectly as far as if we're trying to get the horn functioning. Right now, I just want this piece bolted in so we can get a cap on this sucker. Just want her to look good. You all know it's crazy? I tried putting the other piece on here, and even though on the outside they look the exact same, they had a different pattern on them. You would think just a Bel Air, Impala, whatever, steering wheel would all be the same, but apparently it's not. On the back, they both even had different part numbers. That gets that nice and snug. I cleaned that up with our steel wool to get a little shine back in her life. And this cap right here don't say anything in it, so I kind of like that, so I'm gonna run it. Except it does have a crack or two. It's all right. She's like me, not perfect. However, that looks a hell of a lot better than that. Be nice to keep the paint matching, but this one's just missing so much of it. I guess that kind of gets covered. Either way, even that's all worn out. I think we did pretty good there. So thanks to that subscriber who had passed that wheel along to Bill and everyone else who sent out the parts. Next, let's do the fun, exciting job of installing seat belts. For our lap belts, the seat right there is sewn. Top stitch had done that that's where we're supposed to run her through. So we got to cut us a little slit within those stitches. There we go. Now we can wiggle up through there. Good thing about our seat belts is once we get these installed, I'll be able to take Hot Rod to school in this thing. She loves this one because of the interior too. Woo! I got her! Oh, now speaking of taking Hot Rod to school, this morning I took her in the Toyota Stout, and on my Patreon I posted a little video showing that. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was just me talking to her for probably 30 seconds or so as we were taking the back roads towards school. And if you'd like to follow my Patreon page, it's puddins.fab.shop, and there you'll get all this content ad-free each month, plus a little behind-the-scenes stuff like that I can always post there because analytics don't matter. And if you don't want to follow my Patreon, well, I completely understand. We appreciate all the support here as well. Now, I already marked where I plan on putting a hole, and I've already done our driver's side. I went to our old toolbox in the tool room, Got us an old 12 millimeter or whatever. We're gonna heat this sucker up. You'll get that sucker hotter than a goat's ass in a pepper patch. We just want it steaming. Well, they're nice and hot. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm not doing very good here, folks. All right, I'm gonna let it have plenty of time to cool off. Oh, come on. I didn't want our handle getting hot too. There she goes. With that sucker hot, we can just cut our carpet out. Then we're ready for a hole. I think I found the cross member underneath there. I got it. Oh, shoot. Shit the bed, Fred. Well, God bless America. Well, that's not what was supposed to happen. It's supposed to turn out like that side over there, but I leaned it, got buck nasty, and that's what that'll get you. Messed up carpet. Dang it, that's why we can't have nothing nice. Yeah, just pretend you didn't see that or something. Well, at least we got floor mats to cover up most of that. I hit the cross member underneath there, which is good, because instead of having to worry about like a backer or whatever, going through the cross member is going to be nice and strong. As far as like if you go through just the sheet metal, you need to put that big old washer. But I've got us on that cross member, which should be nice and strong. RIP to our perfect carpet. Oh yeah, that's snug. Woohoo! Let's try her out. That's not why I'm excited. I'm excited because now I've got a little motivation, guys. Oh yeah, that'll work. Other than this seat needs to be slid back again. I'm motivated because my wife and Hot Rod just pulled up here. She asked what I was doing to the wagon. I said I'm putting seat belts in it where y'all can ride in it this summer. Now Hot Rod likes my stuff, but the other girls and my wife aren't the biggest of fans. Old cars just ain't their things. Y'all know that. I know that. Well, this May, we may be going down to Denton, Texas for a day, just to meet up with her family who's going to be there, probably have like lunch, hang out for a few hours, and then turn around and come home type of thing. When I said I was putting seat belts in this, she said, oh, that'd be cool. Maybe we can drive it down to Denton in May when we go down there. Well, you ain't gotta beg me for that. Let's take it. I have been waiting for years for my wife to want to ride in one of my old cars. Dreams do come true. And for a middle seat, we got to come up from underneath there somehow. I think we're going to have to remove some of this floor. It's going to be a lean, mean, road tripping machine. Alright, I was hoping that just popped out. Apparently it does not. Nope, I see the screws. Dang it, I'm having to pull all kinds of crap. I forgot that flipped up to a storage compartment. I'm just gonna pull this whole setup. Last time I took these little shoulder bolts apart, that's the actual hinge, and those are a pain to get started, so we don't want to do that again. If I remember correctly, that took both me and Top Stitch Taylor to get them. Alright, flip that out the way. Now we got a little room. Just don't know if we have enough room. Looks like we may have to pull the whole stinking seat. I'll be honest, I don't remember how to do that. The good news is, I just found out that can pop out. For some reason, I would have bet my life that was attached to a frame that was attached to all that. What's that mean, you ask? We just pulled all that back stuff out for nothing. Because really all we need to do is pick where we want to stick and put them in. See, now that's just sheet metal. So on these ones, we're gonna need to use the big washer on the bottom. That golden nugget right there. Bolt, washer, seat belt, drop her through the hole. See, what I don't like is when every time I do it like that, that ends up upside down. I need to face this towards the back. So I'm gonna just flip that piece upside down. I'd rather it be upside down. And that'll come through the seat like that. Now I strategically placed that hole, though it may have not looked like it. Underneath there, there's a brace, and then to the side, there's like a plug. And I tried to hit center where this had the best chance of fitting. It's just barely hitting that brace though. So if we take a little off that side, that should go just about right there. I think we can make that work. She's through. Yes, sir. I was looking for that lock washer nut I just laid on. Apparently I pooped it out. Kind of set our seat back into place, so obviously that'll go like that. So then we got to decide, which I guess we can kind of stay in line with that one to help guide us. My wife wants to ride in my wagon, hey. Right there's kind of in line. Only problem is that's kind of like a sloped spot, so we want to go over some. So probably out in this little flat area, be a little better. Ooh. Yeah, that one's gonna be tricky. I think we can do it, but it's gonna be tricky. Besides there being exhaust in the way, I can see the hole, but it's up above the frame. There's room in between there, but getting it in there, that's gonna be the hard part. We ain't scared, mama didn't raise no punk. Oh, already hitting frame. Ah, perfect. Now, y'all may notice I've elected to put the big heavy buckle piece towards the center. That's just because in my head, these are going to want to fall out the door. When you take them off, try to get out, then you'll be closing the door on them, everything else. Now we just got to figure out how to get hardware on that, where our bolt can't even go through because it's so tall. It's fine. Brain fart. I meant to cut that with the thickness of a nut. It's just right, I think, for the amount of material we're gonna need. That represents one washer, the thickness of the floor, the other washer, and then a lock washer. Then of course we'll need room for additional nut on the bottom. I forgot to put 2 nuts on that last one. I just did 1. Try again. So my guesstimation is 2 nuts tightened down completely is the perfect length of what we're gonna need. For this, we're gonna have to call in special assistance. It's not sketchy. You're gonna be fine. Theo, why don't you get some thumbs? At least Theo trusts me. My wife wants to ride in my wagon, doo-dah, doo-dah. I told them, hey, you wanna go to Denton, hey.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be fun.
For that.
Huh? Oh, I don't see nothing. Oh, yep, there you are. Right there. Why is there a hole right here?
Because your husband just messed it up. Don't be pointing out my flaws.
Oh, you messed it up?
Shh.
How'd you do that? How did you mess
Shh. Just put the mat back down. You never seen nothing.
it up? It's right there.
You never seen
If
nothing.
you're gonna hide it, at least turn it this way. Look, oh, now you don't see nothing. There you go.
That looks silly.
It looks silly to have a seam that's not sewn up together.
Can you see it?
No. Keep going. Right there. Yep, right there. Hold on.
All right, just hold what you got.
Okay.
You can't tighten that anymore?
Yeah, I need like a tool. I'm not tapping it.
Keep doing what you're doing. Just spin. No, the other way.
What? Oh, like this.
That's the tightening way.
Look at that, I forget how to work it. Okay, that's as high as I can get it.
I just didn't want to use power tools in case it was cross-threaded or not. So I gotta put this on there first. Oh boy. You're gonna give it like a... All right.
Oh.
little more. A little more.
Like that.
That's good. We did it. We did it. We did it.
Do this one now?
Hooray. Yep. Guys, to get that reached up there, I'm having to tape the wrench where the nut will hold there. And then I'm having to put that big old washer on top of there and tape it into place. And then I can kind of whoop, and she has to guide me where to put it, and then she can get it started. Keep going. Go again. Zoom in on her face, Chris. You don't show me no mercy. Don't show her none. Rinse and repeat on that side one. We should be good to go, guys. Just got to get this sucker slapped back together. Now all that zips back together pretty quick, guys. We're going to take this little piece apart. I've never had an issue laying this back seat down, but our latch don't seem too happy. I'm going to blow out our dirt and debris, and then instead of spraying looby-dooby on it, I'm going to try to get some grease worked up in here. Of course, the grease will stay. Now, greasing that's definitely going to help, but that looks loose. Look at that. That's part of our problem. Or actually, probably the problem. It's tight now. Let's see here. Much better. A minute ago, I was literally having to tug on it a lot. Put our cover, that little rubber bumper on. Boop. That's so much better. At this point, we've got underneath it a little better. We've got inside of it a little better. Now let's pop the hood and get underneath here a little more gooder as well. I know what you're thinking. Hey, Puddin', that hood finally stayed. Did you fix that hood spring? Thanks for asking. No, I did not. She's still missing. We got one on that side. I think they've just got corroded enough again where it holds itself. That's nice. That means we don't have to use our prop block. Then again, safety first. I told y'all this thing was acting like she was wanting to flood on me, and I've kind of been having bad luck with my Elderbrox. So we're gonna pull this thing off here, and we're gonna check float levels, because I'm expecting to see them a little not happy. Of course, all of our hoses, throttle, TV cable, all this stuff comes off super fast. All right, she should be ready to pick up off there. Didn't even tear her gasket. Y'all watch my second channel, we recently tore into the Elderbrock on the Model A because I left the fuel valve on, and the float, one of the floats decided to not do their job, or needle and seat, whatever you want to, however you want to say it, she flooded. Like, filled the whole motor. I got 5 gallons of gasoline out the oil pan. So now that I'm basically an expert, this one hadn't messed up on me in a while, but I have a feeling it's right in a fine line. So since we're here, we might as well get in there and address it. All right, the gasket I think we're gonna end up tearing is the one underneath here. I don't want to tear it. It just tore on the Model A, and that one's way newer than what this one is. Let's hope we don't, though. We may get lucky. Oh yeah, we're good, baby. We are good. And indeed, just like the Model A, I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but these are sitting at different heights, which means they're not gonna perform the same. Now, it ain't near as bad as the Model A. The Model A was really bad. At least doing the little blow test, they both seem to be working. Got a little trash in here. You'll see it floating right there. That's interesting. The main reason it's interesting is that this fuel system's like 100% brand new. So the tank's brand new, hard line, just everything. Let's go ahead and grab our spring out of our accelerator pump area, and then we'll dump this out and go ahead and blow that out. Hey, we can finally use the waxed and grease remover for its proper intent. Do you hear that go ding, ding, ding? It's never a good thing when you're holding a carburetor upside down and you hear parts start falling out. We just had this fall off. I don't even think we need that really. Made a little tweak on them. I'll be honest though, both of those look pretty stinking good. As far as like where I was hoping to see them at right there. Well, actually that one's having to go up a little high. That one not so much. So we'll probably want to adjust on this one where it gets it closed a hair sooner. There we go. Now that one has the same little downward angle as this one over here. So that should just be shutting this one off a hair sooner. That may have been right in a fine line right there, which was our problems coming and going with a little bit of flooding. Maybe not, but maybe so. Let's drop our spring back in. And then this should be ready to go together. Just run us 2 down. Barely even let them touch. Now I want to make sure to get everything else connected. Now this one is our accelerator pump. And it hooks in down there. And I believe it goes to the metal hole on this little lever. Pop that. And this one is the one I got to figure out. All right, this can only go one way, which is going to go right there. And then that'll flip up to right there. And then it's ready for a clip. Speaking of clips, look at this sucker. She's parting there finer than frog hair. So you better be careful. Oh, them little suckers are magnetic. Never knew it. And then I'll put this screw back on because it has our choke bracket. And it's the only one that has to go in a special spot. Woo! Drop a bolt down there, that's good. Hey, get on down there. Feeding the carburetor man. If he can't fix it, probably everyone else can. Run those all down, and then I'll check them by hand. Just gotta snug these girls. Don't just torque the dog piss out of them. All right, let's slip her back on. I think our gasket's gonna be fine, so we're gonna try to reuse it. We'll see why she wouldn't be. Gotta love the simplicity of these old school just carbs and stuff, guys. Gotta love it. Don't forget your little spring return on this back corner. Gotta have it. She'll go back together quick. We may want to get her warmed up and tune on this sucker again. Never hurts to check timing and tuning. There you go, TV cable clicks right on. And how did that get back in there? Here we go. Throttle. Just get our washer and cotter pin. We'll be ready to fire her up. That's one of my favorite parts underneath this hood. I built that dual snorkel, so that ain't a factory one, though she looks factory. Almost forgot my key in the back here. Come on, baby. She picked up fuel quick. She seems to be running good, guys. It's been real happy. So as long as we don't get that occasional flood out of it, she should be good to go. Oh yeah. Woo-hoo! Man, it's gonna be nice driving this thing with a trimmed out steering wheel. Hell with seat belts. All right. Are y'all ready to see the best upgrade we're gonna do so far to this wagon? Oh, it's heavy. Here it is. I hope I'm going, blurt out that fart. I didn't plan that. That just happened. Surely y'all didn't hear that. I started making noises. My butt was like, I want to join in. A wing nut to the breather. I have not had one on there. That's frustrating. Best upgrade we've done right there. Checked her oil. She was a little low. She's probably about due for an oil change. But I put a little oil in her. Checked her radiator. She was about, I don't know, 3/4 of a gallon low. Now she's right up to the very top, so now I'm afraid it's gonna puke it out everywhere. This has been down on our kind of core support there this whole time. So let's clean this sucker up and turn it into our overflow tank. I thought that's what they're supposed to be from the factory, so I don't know what they were, because that damn sure wasn't one. Ain't no hole in it. That's where you kept the hooch at. First, we're gonna clean up the outside, where we can see how dirty the inside is. She don't look too dirty. Woo! Couple little crusties in there. Here's a little on the inside though, so I guess we can just spray some of this in there. Oh yeah, that's cleaning her up. Clean her lid, and we'll just give that some shakes. Did I look like a fancy bartender? Well, that went in neon yellow, and now it's kind of brownish. So I think we're doing a good job here. I smell fire. Oh, I see smoke down in the valley. Y'all probably can't see it. Oh, that's coming from. Don't. Just gonna keep rinsing her out, guys, until we get her nice and clean. Decently sized vacuum hose. I'm sure that's rated for coolant overflow. Cleaned her bottle out again, and it goes size bigger. And then one size bigger. There we go. We got her whooped now. With our bottle mounted, we'll take this through this clip right here that's not actually attached to nothing, so everything stays super professional looking. Quick little trim down, pop her on. We should be good to go. All right, with our caps back on, I'd like to get this thing cleaned up a little. She's a little dusty all the way around. And we'd also like to see how she feels going down the road now that we've messed with her a little bit. I can go faster than 5 miles per hour down my driveway without just plumb grading it, so we're already doing better. Well, she ain't rubbed in the spots she'd been rubbing on the road already. I got our poor man's AC on. That feels perfect, guys. Let's head to town. We may have to take Mama and Hot Rod out in it tonight since it's just us. Guys, this car's so good. It rides so good. It drives so good. It's like so good. Have I mentioned it's good? Woo! Woo! It's coming in a little hot. Hello, my beautiful wife. Yo, yo, oh, oh, yo. Don't worry, I brought it. All right, let's try this again. We ain't got time for that sexy nonsense. Sorry, guys. Some of y'all just said good. When you're low enough that you don't hit everything going down the road, but you still have to pull your vehicle forward to be able to wash all the tire, that's when you know you have her tuned to perfection. Well, I know we did this thing some good, because every time I've ever gone through that bay, I've scraped coming out. And I did not scrape this time. The best part is, she still rides amazing, guys. Man, it's so good. Woo, got that cold AC on, I'm feeling bougie. I don't think you can drive this thing and not smile, guys. Come on, Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, where's your socks at?
con the girls into riding with me. Listen for the squeak. I think it's our speedo cable or something in the speedometer. We probably need to try to lube that sucker up or something. How's she riding? Oh, it's good, ain't it? I can see you falling in love. Which one you like better, this or Old Bessie?
They're both good, she said.
I think I'll park right here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Oh, she did great, guys. Lucky man who gets to show off his wagon and his ladies. Well, I ain't not got all my girls, but a couple of them. I cleaned up her stillies when I got home, guys. We had to have those shining up good. Match my wife's shirt, come to find out. Why you dressed like me?
You're dressed like me. I got dressed first this morning.
All right, apparently we gotta wait 15 minutes or so. That's enough time to perform a quick test. I started up pretty good. Guys, before this thing would be loaded up when I would kill this, and I know it was allowing it to flood because then I would stomp the pedal to wide open, and when I did, it would fire up. So it was flooded. You give her more air to match and she'll fire up, you burn off the fuel. Now the fact it can start up without me having to do that, I guarantee you that little adjustment we made on the carburetor fixed our problem. So I'm gonna put this camera down and go enjoy dinner with my two ladies. Good morning. Had a nice little cruise back last night. Hot rod's ready.
Are we taking this car?
Oh yeah. Little local car show going on this morning. Me, Mom, and Hot Rod, we're gonna cruise over there and check her out.
Me and Mom.
That's because them other ones are grown and teenagers. They ain't got time for their family, do they?
Nope.
Just you. You love your parents?
I love Christian. Oh.
Awkward silence. Jeez, girl.
We do glasses and hats. They don't work.
It works for me every day. Dang, woman. Got you a beer in the front seat taking shots? What's wrong with you?
Saturday.
I'm gonna drop you off at AA. That's water and healthy juice, guys, so calm down. There's the old house. She sold, guys. Were you waving at him, baby?
I'll live in the house.
Is this your favorite one to ride in that I have?
I don't know, probably. It's not as nasty as the other ones. They're loud. You know, like normally your seats are gross.
I try very hard to keep this one not gross.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm just a gross seat kind of guy.
Was it Birdie? I used to fly around in the back seat.
Whoa, we have children in here. Well, we made it. I already see best of show. You ready to go see some cars?
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Dang slick. You try to get that ultimate dad cruiser or what?
I heard these have massage chairs in them.
Hop up in there. All right, guys. Well, that's about a wrap. We got Mama and Hot Rod doing stretches. I found best of show right here. Snap-on van. Yeah. Lifted on the mud diggers.
He's a snap-on man right there.
Oh, you hoping to get everyone in debt, huh?
Hey, man, we do what we do.
All right, guys. Well, sun's going down. All day we ran around in that thing. Me, Mama, and Hot Rod ran a couple errands. Went and drank or got a cup of coffee at a place where you can sit and paint. Can't talk. Here's my painting. I call it Sore Thumb number 127. Has stitches and a busted fingernail. Mainly because I always have a busted thumbnail. And I just got them stitches out, baby. All right, that's pretty good, huh? We're gonna throw that with a random merchandise order that happens after this video goes out. So thank y'all for being here. I've been wanting to get on this thing. It has sat around for too long. And guys, I think right now it's gonna be hard to get me out of it, especially now that I've won my girls over with it. They've really enjoyed riding around with me, and of course I've loved having them. We raised it up the perfect amount. All the driving I've been doing, I've gone on roads that I know all the normal spots I would scrape, and we did no scraping, even with additional people in here. I know those bags are gonna help this thing a lot. The carburetor, she's good, guys. No more having to just plumb sit her to the floor and you know, like it was flooding or anything anymore. She just been firing right up. All the work we did was really good for it. I've got a little list of things I'd still like to do on it. I think we might get a couple more seat belts to pop in there for the middle, in the front and rear. Mama said that we may want to do that. At least in the front where Hot Rod can ride with me and her up there, and then the two older girls could ride in the back. If I was a smart man's, I would have thought of that. I think I'm gonna get us a little bit better quality brake pads. I just use cheap eBay disc brake kits for the front and rear. And I think getting in there and just putting a little bit better quality pad and maybe a little lube on the slides would probably help, just because I get occasional squeak. One of them things is just kind of annoying. The back door, I need to do some type of interior panel on. The one we have is rusted away, so it has nothing on it. And I still don't have all the hardware in the back door, so I need to do something about that as well. The main last problem, well, besides the seals, but that's gonna be easy to address. We're gonna do seals on the doors. I'm gonna get I think I'm just gonna do the clear UV resistant tint. I know some people are gonna say to black out the windows because the black wheels, but I had a Photoshop done of it, and I don't like it, guys. Just the old classic cars, to me, usually look better with clear glass. So doing those two things will help keep the cold air in, of course, but this thing still wants to creep up on temperature when it's just sitting there idling. It's gotta stay moving, or it stays where it wants to overheat. And that has to do with the mechanical fan moving air. I've tried a couple different spacers. Right now, it should be textbook where it needs to be, halfway in the shroud. But these shrouds aren't the best on these cars. And I think I'm just gonna do electric fan conversion. I've done that on my 64 with the AC, and it does great, guys. On it, I actually use some OEM fans, electric fans from like 2002 Camaro LS1 car. And when my buddy upgraded his setup. I put those on my 64, and they do an awesome job of moving air across there. So we'll probably do a little conversion like that. I think no more probably on the main channel. It'll probably just be a little odds and ends here on the second channel now. So happy with what we got done for a quick 2-day thrash on this thing. This has been a crazy week because I did just a bunch of crap before I got down to just having Thursday and Friday to work on that. And I'm so glad I finally did that. No more parts just sitting on the shelf. And that thing, guys, I'm doing good right now. It seems like something always breaks down on something. Now the S10's still down for the count, but we got the U-Haul, we've got the Datsun, we've got the International truck, we've got the wagon, the Stout, and the Model A all in driver status right now. We got an S10 that needs a transmission, and then the Travelall, all she really needs is a little bit better battery. I think that one crapped out for me never using it, but the exhaust is kind of blown out, so she needs new mufflers. Oh yeah, and we may put a little quieter muffler on this thing. She ain't super loud and noisy when you get up to speed, but it's the getting up to speed that is kind of, she's just a little louder than what we want if we're probably going to actually be road tripping this thing as a family and stuff, which I would absolutely love. So if me putting a little quieter muffler on it gets my family in here even more, that's a compromise I'm willing to make. What do you think about that, Theodore? I think it's Theo approved as well. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support, guys. It literally means the world to me. I cannot thank y'all enough. Of course, check out the second channel if you ain't seen it. Like I mentioned in this video, we're on the Patreon. Like this morning, guys, there's about 10-minute video. It was some footage that was the start of a video, and that video just got scrapped. So in the YouTube world, that footage to me is useless. I can't do nothing with it. If I was to post a 10-minute video today, Saturday, like the Saturday morning on my second channel, it would just tank the analytics and it would hurt the performance of my channel for the next month to come. That's part of playing the analytic game with YouTube, guys. Just part of the territory. But like on Patreon, analytics don't matter. So I've been able to hop on there for anywhere from a 10-second to a 3-minute kind of daily update, it seems like. Just something I can record on my phone real quick and post on there. And then like that video, we were looking at a truck out at Ray's. It turned out like 10 to 12 minutes, somewhere in there. Can't quite remember. But I was able to post that on there. So you can get some never seen like before footage, because if not, I can delete it out of my computer or I can throw it on there. But thank y'all to who come over there and support it on the Patreon. puddins.fab.shop.com for that good quality merchandise. Like I said, my original hand painting of my hand is getting thrown in with an order there. We're on the Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, all that kind of good stuff. And I will see y'all on the next one. However, and I'm very excited about the next one, by the way. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project. Look who decided to eat a bee and was obviously trying to get it out of his mouth. Let me help you out there, pal. Ta-da, great Houdini made it disappear. Just playing, guys, that ain't really magic. It was stuck to the bottom of my shoe.